poking my eye. Rude. Anyways, you're making a joke out of yourself. Friends, hey, today we're talking about a very important topic. Breaking through by doing the inner work. But before we get into the video, we have some video chapters here, so feel free to skip to a certain part that interests you the most. I know that this will actually set some people free. Before we get into the details of it, let me just talk about doing the inner work in general. Doing the inner work is something that a lot of people avoid doing, neglect doing, or start doing, but then it gets too hard and they're like, let's scratch that, because it's emotional and we don't want to face our pains. We don't want to face the things that traumatized us, that hurt us, and just to get back those memories, because why should we? It's painful, right? But in order to heal, in order to become your better self, to become your best self, you need to heal. And healing only happens when you're doing the inner work, when you're going through the episodes in your life where you've been hurt, where you've been traumatized, where you've went through stuff that really impacted you in your development. Then you cannot skip this part, unfortunately. Now that we're closing off 2023, and December 1st is tomorrow, I guess. Yeah. So today's the 30th of November and tomorrow will be the 1st of December, which is so scary to me. Just scary. I don't know. We still have a month worth of time to do some healing, to prepare for 2024. My new year already started. Like literally it already started. I'm already doing the work for 2024. And that's why I know that 2024 is going to be a successful year, because I'm already starting. Do not be one of those people that say 1st of January, I'm gonna get my life together. I'm gonna hit the gym. And then you're just hitting the gym for 2 weeks and that's it. I mean, it's like literally people joke about it, but you make yourself a joke. You make something in my eye. You're making a joke out of yourself by falling into this cliche, because you don't have to fall into this cliche. You can just plan this whole thing prior to the clock strikes 12 and now it's New Year and now you're trying to become your best self, but you have no plan, idea how you can progress into it. And that is foolish. It is foolish. But that's why I'm here, to help you, to help us, become our better versions, because I'm learning as well. I'm improving daily. Literally, I'm improving myself daily and it is exhausting. And I understand why people don't want to do this, because the amount of pride you have to swallow, the amount of things you have to suck up, the amount of aha moments, realizing, okay, I'm not the shit, you have to do on a daily basis, sucks. Not gonna lie. But the more I'm in this process, the better I'm becoming and finally becoming my best self. And I want that for you too. So let's get into the video. First point is facing your pain. Before you get into healing, you have to know where your pain lies. Like, what is the pain that you're going through that's hurting you? What have you experienced? List down your pains, whether it be on paper, whether it be you just, sitting there and, just zoning out and reflecting on it on the inside, on your mind. List your pains down. What pains have you gone through? What pain are you currently maybe experiencing? It makes less sense to know where your pain lies, but you're not facing it. You know that, for example, your parents didn't raise you pretty well, and that's why you're dealing with struggles right now in your adult life and you're pretty unhappy with it. But you know that that's the reason, because your parents kind of messed up. And it's not to say that you should always blame outside circumstances, because I always say you can be born in the worst circumstance, you can be born in the worst family ever, but it doesn't mean that because of that your life should turn out shit. It's not the equalization. Although you might think, yeah, okay, the beginning was bad already, so like everything is messed up already. No, it's just when you experience a lot of hardships in life, they happen for a reason. That's why it happened to you, but it doesn't mean that you should just sit with it and accept it and do nothing about it. It happened for a reason, for you to make this and turn this into something. But I'm gonna get into that a bit later, because, yeah. So you literally have to face your pain. So it's not sufficient to just know where your pain lies, but you have to face it. And you have to sit with the pain. And it is painful to sit with your pain. It is painful. The next thing that you should do is reflect on your traumas. And yeah, that's also a painful thing. You have to kind of go through the traumas that you've experienced in life from childhood up until now, because traumas don't only happen like in our childhoods, they also happen when we're older, because you saw something dramatic, on the streets, or you've experienced something, or you grew up pretty rough, saw how your just people that you love got hurt, abused, and we see awful things. I don't have to give tons of examples. We know what traumatic things happen in this world, unfortunately. So reflect on your traumas, and just I really advise you to write it down, because yeah, you can just sit here and think and, drift off in thoughts, but I really advise you to write it down and to really have it on paper and let this paper talk back to you. That's why I always say writing is so therapeutic, because oftentimes it's like you're dumping everything, you're emotionally dumping everything, and then at the end of it, you this piece of paper is like facing you. It's either mirroring you or just showing you something, but it's like you put it out and now you can read it, and now it's like outside of yourself, you detach from it. You see? So definitely write it down, but reflect on your traumas. So after facing your pain and after reflecting on your traumas, you should look at the way you're acting and reacting and responding to your pain and to your traumas. And that's where the inner work starts, because there the mirror comes up, where your reflection starts reflecting, and you're just like, damn, this was me, this is me, I did this, damn, oh girl, you gotta heal. Why you have to also figure out when you get triggered, what happens, how do you react? Do you burst out in anger? Do you burst out in tears? Do you walk away because you're avoiding things? How is your coping mechanism in regards to your pain and trauma? After all of this, it is really important for you to know that you should have compassion with yourself. Otherwise, you would be stuck at the point of you writing everything down, of you being aware of your pain, of your trauma, of how you respond, how you react towards your pain and your trauma. And then you stay stuck at the point where you are hating yourself for it, where you're judging yourself for it. And this is not actually, no, this isn't the route that you should take. It's more over for you to look at all of this, to reflect on all of this, and then to have compassion and grace with yourself. I always say, newborns, they are blameless. They haven't done anything. They come into this world. None of them babies coming out of the mother's womb are racists, are full of hatred, are full of this, full of that. It develops over time. And the more messed up people are, the more shit they've gone through in life. It is still important to be aware of it, that they have gone through certain things. Otherwise, they wouldn't be like this. That's why I always understand a lot of people. Like, I'm not gonna list it, not to like, get the first hate comments here on my YouTube account. But I just understand where people are coming from, and that everything has a reason. From being a drug addict to being this to being that. Yeah, I'm not trying to like talk their actions, their bad behaviors, their bad actions down, or to say it's okay. Not at all. Everything has their consequences. But I always know that God at the end of the day is going to judge them. So you really just have to be compassionate with yourself and love yourself, because oftentimes we lack love. I don't know where I got this from, but I read it somewhere and it's really the truth. Like, I'm still learning to understand the depth of love, because I feel like in our world we don't really know what true love is. You know it if you have a relationship with God, then you understand how God is loving on you, on people. And this is where you experience like supernatural love. But like true love, I don't know if people really experience it. It's like we have perceptions of love, but the depth of it, it's also, I guess, a journey to find that out. Like love being platonic or romantic, or, for your children or whatever. Love has facets, and the absence of love is the reason that people do bad things, that people hurt each other, that people are just, wounded, because it's the absence of love that results all of this. It's the absence of love from your parents in your childhood that you needed, especially during childhood. It's the absence of love from your partner because he or she is not supporting you enough. It's the absence of love of your husband or your wife because they don't support your vision. It's the absence of love of your siblings because they didn't protect you. They didn't fight for you, but they fell behind your back. It's the absence of love, basically. And that's why I understand more and more how powerful it is to understand love. That was pretty deep. That was pretty deep. Now let me tell you another thing. You didn't go through all of this for nothing. You didn't go through all of your pain, all of your traumas for nothing. It all happened for a reason. Let me tell you that. Let me even guarantee it, although I don't want to guarantee anything. But everything in life happens for a reason. The good and the bad. And we just have to be aware of it. So that means your pain, your trauma, as heavy as it is or was, you could still maintain it. God doesn't give us things that we can't carry. God never puts weights on our shoulders that we cannot carry. Although during our pain, during our trauma, we're like, I cannot handle this. This is too much for me. Like, this is hurting me. I'm feeling pain like I've never felt before. I'm being like, I don't know, I'm losing myself. I'm losing my identity. I don't understand anything. And I know that it is pretty hard to understand that still, despite all of this, all of your pain, all of your hurt, that at the end of the day, God still says, I allowed this because I know that you can handle it. It's crazy, but it's actually the truth. Like when I look back on my traumatic experiences, when I look back on my pains, in the moment I was like, why in the world am I going through this? Like, why in the world do I have to experience this at this young age? Why in the world? Why in the world? But now that I'm older, I understand and I look back at it. Not. Oh my gosh, my head is so messy. Look back at it. Hey. Each time when I hear people say look back at it, I'm just thinking about the looking back at it. I'm sorry. I just had to drop it. But anyways, I just look back at it and I'm like, I hate when I'm not serious in serious moments because this was so serious. Okay, when I look back at it, I understand that I was actually capable to go through this. And in the moment, it didn't feel like it. Afterwards, it also didn't feel like it. But years later, it does. Pregnancy, women go through so much pain, especially in the last trimester and in the last weeks, in the last days especially. And they're like, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I don't know how to like birth this child. This I've never like experienced so much pain in my life. My mom, up until this day, tells me how much pain she had birthing me. And it's like she's blaming me that it hurt. And I'm like, this is Mother Nature. This is what God gave you. You know, it's not my fault that God wanted me here. She literally still, up until this day, especially when we like have discussions, she blames me and says, you don't know how much pain I've endured to get you here. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry then. We, like, as women during pregnancy, go through so much pain. And then after birthing, we cannot really remember the pain that we've experienced, that we've went through weeks later, months later. It's kind of like that. In the moment, it feels awful. But then if you go past it, you understand like, wow, I was capable of carrying this. Now that is strong, and that again deserves some self-love and some compassion. Last but not least, I want to put some meaning into your pain, into your traumas. As I said, nothing happens just because it happened. Like, everything happens for a reason, right? And your pain and your traumas also happen for a reason. It means that your pain that you've gone through, you should turn that pain into purpose. You should turn your pain into purpose, because that's why in the first place the pain happened, for you to turn it into purpose. Meaning, let's say you've gone through awful things, right? Then you can ask yourself, like, what did that pain, what did that trauma teach you? Ask yourself that. What lessons has it taught you? What has your pain taught you? It's like you're removing your pain from the pedestal to like taking it down, looking at it, being detached, knowing it has nothing to do with yourself, like with your identity and with your self-worth. It doesn't mean that you're less worthy of something only because you've gone through certain things. But you look at it detached and you're like, okay, so what has this taught me? What lesson did I gain from this? Now you're turning this pain into purpose. And by turning this pain into purpose, you give it a meaning to have gone through the things that you've gone through. You have to understand that although it does feel like nobody else in the world has experienced something like you did, other people are experiencing similar things than you, or the things that you've went through, the trauma and the pain that you've went through. That's why people always relate to pain. If I post a video on social media of me crying, I know that I'll get more clicks than a video of me laughing and smiling and being happy. It's not only because people want to see the worst of the worst, but it's just relatable. We can relate to people that have gone through rough times, raw stuff, because you're like, damn, yeah, now I don't feel so bad about myself. Isn't it like that? Because it's always about ourselves at the end of the day. And I understand that more and more, especially like creating content, it's really not about myself or putting myself in the best light. I shifted from posting pictures only of me, of myself, to not posting too many pictures of myself, but actually focusing on the message I want to bring through, or focusing on the things that I can share with you, where you can relate and be like, okay, wow, I needed to hear this. Now now I don't feel so bad about myself, about my life, or whatever anymore, you know? So it's really about what are you making out of it, and people wanting to relate to it. So just know that you're not the only one going through shit. You're not the only one going through trauma. You're not the only one being in your 20s going through this. Social media just makes people's lives look very happy and problem-free and stress-free and debt-free and here on vacation, there on vacation. Had a conversation yesterday. Basically just talked about how people just go on vacation here and there, but actually take a loan to go on vacation just to say that I went to this place. Child! No! Like, you don't have to do this, please. Like, there is so many opportunities to make money nowadays. It's not going to be easy, of course, but there are ways instead of getting yourself into more debt. Anyways, before I'm drifting off, people might need your story. People might want to hear your voice on certain things because they need it to relate and they need it to break through. And that's the thing, and that's what I'm also grasping more and more, because I know that I have to do a lot of sharing. I do, because y'all don't know my story yet. And I have to share my story soon, and I will. And my story is not like just a one-time story, but it's like, you know, many life experiences that I'm going to share with you. But the more I grow comfortable into this YouTube channel, the more I can share. So it's a process as well. But I know, and I'm aware of it, that I have to share certain stories for certain breakthroughs. And that's the same for you, basically. So this is a bonus tip, right? This is actually more specifically for the men watching my YouTube video. Hey there. So I want you to define your principles. At the end of all of this, right? Define your principles, establish principles in your life, and then commit to them. Commit to being an example, because let's just be really, really honest. The things that are happening outside there in the world, it's basically because men nowadays aren't standing their ground anymore. It's like people look away. If women look away, okay, I get it. You know, sometimes we don't really want to express ourselves, yada yada. But if men look away too, then where is this going? You know, it's like you have to establish principles in your life and commit to them, because we lack role models, period. We lack role models in our society. I barely know anyone that says, oh, I have this role model. Sometimes it's like their parent. Sometimes it's their relative or someone they're striving to become. Okay. But are these people blameless? Are these people really blameless? Are these people actually sticking to their principles, sticking to their morals, sticking to their values, and trying to like represent a very good version of themselves in order for younger people to look up to them and be like, I want to be like you? Because oftentimes it's just a game. Oftentimes it's just a facade. But you yourself, like you, man, watching this right now, establish your principles and stick to them. Because you are a role model. If you want it or not, if you're a dad or not, if you're a brother, if you're like, either way, you are a role model, and we lack role models for the younger generations, but also just in general. And that's why I really just emphasize this point, because we need that. We need that. And I don't want men out here avoiding their problems, avoiding their pains, avoiding their traumas, only because in society it says that men shouldn't cry about their pain. Men shouldn't be too emotional. Of course, you shouldn't be too emotional, but you should acknowledge the fact that you're a human being and that you have emotions and feelings. And that's why you should actually go through all of this, your pains, your traumas. Then look at the way you're responding towards them. Then give yourself compassion and love for it. Because you know, okay, this has nothing to do with my identity or because I deserve to go through shit. And then be aware that this was a way that you were able to carry. And knowing that, okay, so although it was really heavy, it was a burden, God actually put it on my shoulders because I am able to carry this. Bolster your chest, man. Like, I would be like walking the streets with my chest up high because I'm like, yeah, you know, God believes in me and God actually thinks that I'm capable, and that's why he gave me weights to lift. Okay, now I'm just getting goofy. I'm getting goofy. But like, he gave you weights to lift. Show off the muscles. Show them emotional muscles that you've gone through, huh? And then last but not least, turn your pain into purpose and stick to your principles, into becoming more aware of our pains and traumas and then healing those. Because otherwise, we're just going to walk in circles and circles and circles and wonder why our life is not changing, why we're not still developing, why we're stuck at where we are in life. At the end of the day, it's on us. You can blame other people, but it's on you. You cannot change other people, but you can change yourself. And that's what you need to do. Work on yourself and the rest will follow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that this set you free, that this helped you. And I just pray that this message really got into your spirit and that it will shift in you and it will lead to you becoming your better self, because you deserve it. You deserve it, right? So thank you so much. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified each time I upload, and then also share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Rewatch this video as often as you need, if you really need a refresher, if you need a reminder. And also click the links in my description box where I provided some freebies for you, from a self-care journal to a purpose and self-discovery guide where I just listed tons of journal prompts down for you to reflect. Leave a comment down below of how this video has made you feel, what you've gained for insights, maybe your aha moments. I would really love to know that. And also follow me on my social media, on Instagram @spiritmarta and all of that. So until next time then, guys, bye.